Look around you the next time you walk into a crowded room. What do you see? Maybe you see a confident boss commanding the table, a charming friend who always has the perfect joke, a quiet stranger scrolling through their phone, completely detached from the world. It looks like ordinary life. But what if I told you that almost everything you are looking at is a lie? The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche realized a terrifying, beautiful truth about human nature. We are all living in a theater of souls. Every person you meet is wearing a mask so perfectly molded to their face that they have forgotten they are wearing it. Most of us stumble through life completely blind to the silent language happening right in front of us. But what if you could learn to see through the illusion? What if you could read the secret fears, the hidden desires, and the unspoken trauma of anyone you meet, sometimes before they even say a single word? Today you are going to learn how to decode the human soul. But be warned, once you learn to see people as they truly are, you can never go back to the comfortable lie. From the time we are children, we are taught that words are the ultimate tool for truth. But Nietzsche saw words differently. To him, language was a defense mechanism. People don't speak to reveal themselves, they speak to protect themselves. If you want to read someone, the first rule is to stop listening to the words they have rehearsed and start listening to the spaces in between. Humans leak their truth constantly. Watch the micro moments, the split-second pause before they answer a simple question about their family, the way their laugh sounds just a little too loud when the topic shifts to something intimate, the sudden urge they have to check their phone when the conversation brushes up against vulnerability. These are not accidents. This is the mask cracking under pressure. When someone gives you a perfectly polished, surface-level answer to a deep question, they are handing you a map to their deepest fear. The things they passionately avoid talking about are the exact things that quietly run their lives. Silence is where the real person lives. Now, let's go a layer deeper. Have you ever met someone who is constantly criticizing a very specific flaw in other people? The colleague who won't stop complaining about how arrogant everyone else is? The friend who has a hypersensitive radar for fakeness? The politician who loudly preaches moral purity? Nietzsche understood a psychological mechanism that will completely change how you view your enemies. It's called projection. What we passionately hate in others is almost always a reflection of what we are desperately trying to hide within ourselves. The loudest critic of arrogance is often fighting a losing battle with their own fragile self-worth. The person obsessed with exposing fakes is usually carrying the agonizing weight of their own imposter syndrome. This is the great paradox of human behavior. The volume of someone's judgment is usually equal to the depth of their secret shame. When you understand this, anger stops looking like power. It starts looking like a confession. The next time someone harshly judges another person in front of you, pay very close attention. They are unknowingly reading you their own psychological autobiography. We naturally assume that the most dominant, controlling people in the room are the strongest. The micromanager, the person who has to plan every second of the trip, the partner who needs constant updates. We look at them and see a fortress. But if you look through the lens of human psychology, you don't see a fortress, you see a prison. Behind almost every excessive need for control is a wounded inner child who once lived in chaos. At some point in their life, they learned that unpredictability meant pain. So, as adults, they try to conquer their internal chaos by forcefully manipulating the external world. Their dominance isn't confidence. It's panic masquerading as power. Truly confident people, people who have a solid, unshakable core, do not need to dominate you. They can let life be messy. They can let you be right. They can sit in a room without being the center of attention. Once you realize that the most aggressive people are often the most terrified, you stop fearing them. You just start seeing them. By now, you might be thinking of all the people in your life whose masks you want to pull away. But there is one final, uncomfortable truth you must face. You are wearing a mask too. The way you isolate yourself when you're stressed. The way you use sarcasm to deflect compliments. The way you overwork yourself to the point of burnout because secretly, you believe your only value is in what you produce. You are playing out your own survival strategies written by your own ghosts. And this is why learning to read people is not a party trick. It is not a weapon for manipulation. It is the ultimate tool for empathy. When you strip away the masks, the projections, and the performed confidence, you realize that every single one of us is just a frightened, hopeful human being, desperately trying to feel safe and deeply longing to be understood. When you learn to see people clearly, you don't pull their mask off. You simply create an environment that is so safe, so devoid of judgment, that they finally feel brave enough to take it off themselves. The world doesn't need more people who can manipulate the psychological weaknesses of others. The world needs people who can look at a broken, difficult person, see the frightened child beneath the armor, and choose to respond with grace. The next time you look at a stranger, what will you see?